this picture will help represent what we're going to be talking about each week.
So you're going to do a piece of artwork about the subject of our interview?
Yes.
That is so cool. An original piece
And
of...
I'm sending it all the way like this.
Cool. Well, that's how it can start then. We can have drum roll, artwork, reveal.
Did you actually show him which one was him?
No.
The one on the end in the striped jumper with the hat on.
It's you.
Yeah.
It's you.
Right.
And why is he crying?
Oh, because I lost a big movie role to bits and chains.
You need to explain what the picture is, because
Okay then.
so there's a picture
of you losing a movie role.
No, but who is the original people?
Oh, me. I think like
I mean the original picture you've got, is that Entourage? You was talking
Entourage.
Entourage. So
Okay.
there's a picture at the beginning of Entourage where one of them's got his hands crossed.
Copied all the poses of all these people, but changed it into me and the other staff,
Yeah. The dead one on the floor is Lee.
Yeah.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Pick it up and show him again.
You're right. You're on the end with your arms folded. Yeah. Very cool. I like the stubble, Ryan.
And the other one is probably Eric, my agent, with a brown potato sack on his head.
I see. Okay. Eccentric. Dracula behind him. I'm upset then because I missed out on a movie role.
Yeah. Oh, where?
Okay. Who was I going to play? One of the Entourage characters?
Well, yeah, but now you've lost it to the original actor.
Okay.
Shite.
Bela Lugosi. I would make a good Dracula, I think, because I'm so pale.
Yeah. And sadly you've lost it to Brad Pitt.
Well, you know, as competition goes, Brad can have that one. I'll best him at the time.
Right.
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you for featuring me. And I've recorded all of that. Okay. By the way, I am recording, just so you know. So I've got our little discussion about it recorded as well. So if I do a blog post, I can explain all of that. And I can say, Ryan's done this drawing featuring me, featuring...
Yeah.
Welcome to another RDB Reviews with Ryan Balkwill, the author of RDB Reviews.
Episode 20.
Episode 20. Very good. So episode 20 of RDB Reviews. Ryan chooses subjects for us to discuss in our reviews, and he has done a lot of posts since we did a last interview. Yeah. Ryan has chosen to discuss Netflix original series, The Legend Gets Some Fresh Blood, Dracula.
Yeah.
This, as Ryan had mentioned just before we started recording, that this is available on Netflix, but also the BBC. This premiered on the BBC last Christmas, isn't it? So can you remember, Ryan, when this was on British television?
January 5th.
It was this year, so it was January that it came out on British TV and Netflix.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So it's created by Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat. I know that Mark Gatiss is in this as well, because he often is when he does adaptations of old stories. The Count Dracula legend transforms with new tales that flesh out the vampire's gory crimes and brings his vulnerability into the light. Ryan says, I was interested in this new Dracula adaptation to see what the end result would be. The series was unique in a great way. Ryan says the prose, this new Dracula adaptation was so full of so many twists and fascinating character study. This series got a lot of blood and gore. The acting was good and the practical effects were very well done. The cons, all 3 episodes felt a lot different, but they are not that intertwined with each other. At times it does get confusing and the pacing does take a while to get going. So when did you see this, Ryan? Was it recently or did you see it back when it was on telly?
Oh, no, I think it's one of those things of like what I just did, which was just scroll down the catch-up list underneath the BBC and just went Dracula. And I went, oh yeah, I meant to watch this.
Yeah, So you'd heard about it before, and you thought,
Yeah.
I should watch this at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the first episode and some of the second. A bit like I've mentioned in previous episodes, I sometimes catch things when I'm heading downstairs, but I don't watch the full thing. But I'm aware of this. I've seen some of it, and I think it's great. I think it's really fun.
Yeah. I thought it was really fun too.
I was going to say, plot spoiling. We need to be careful maybe how much we say,
Yeah.
because it is based on the original Bram Stoker story, but it has been updated somehow, shall we say.
And that's what I'll say. My first prize was I feel like this is the best Dracula adaptation I ever seen.
Yeah, great. I'm not sure how many you've seen, but Dracula's a favourite. You know, I think one of the first ever films that was made was a Dracula movie, and it's been going ever since like 1900.
And I do remember, like, in my old school, people used to tell me stories about Dracula a lot.
Yeah.
Well, like, story time lessons. Like, this is like years and years ago, when I was very little.
It's a strange story for a very little child, but yeah.
Yeah, but this is like a long time ago.
Probably not as gory as this one, the story
Oh
being
no,
told there.
reading a bedtime story.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, Dracula's not a great bedtime story, but you've grown up fine. It's not damaged you.
Yeah, I know the creature himself. Yeah, sorry.
The actor is really good. Sorry, I'm excited because I know we're talking about one.
Yeah, definitely the actor. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the practical effects with like the
I,
looks like dough.
yeah. Fantastic. So if anyone hasn't seen this, if they do watch it, you will not be disappointed by the special effects. It's not a movie. It is a 3-part series, and it's made originally for British television.
Yeah,
Might suggest the budget wouldn't be brilliant, but it is really flashy. It looks quite expensive.
yeah, everything you will probably expect from a Dracula biopic.
Yeah, but like you say, it has a twist. It has an
Yeah.
interesting twist that I don't think Dracula's done before. Because
Yeah.
Dracula, I want to make this sort of point. When Bram Stoker wrote Dracula, it was very pulp fiction at the time.
Yeah.
It was all very modern.
Yeah.
It was written in 1898, I think. And they were making movies of it within a couple of years. So there's kind of a history of Dracula being updated and that being fine, because it's always meant to be now. It's meant to be what's happening now.
Yeah.
It's originally written in the 1890s, so that's why we think of it as an old Gothic horror. But if it gets brought into the 21st century, that's absolutely fine.
And most of all, this is my comment about this. All 3 episodes, which they are both like felt very, very different from each other.
A major plot twist happens at the end of the first episode, if I'm correct, when he makes it to England.
Oh yeah, when he's like, tell the nuns, excuse me, I'm going on this boat. Going to England.
That's right. Now, I actually caught it, Ryan, when he's on the boat, and then again, I don't want to plot spoil, but then he gets somewhat delayed getting to the UK, and then he makes it to the beach, and then he finds out what year it is. So I remember an episode ends with that and starts with that. So I'm not sure if that's the end of episode 1 and the start of episode 2.
I know it's been like a week since I watched it.
Okay, but for you, the episodes are quite distinctly different. So different things happen in each episode.
Like, the first one they ended with him getting on the boat. The second was like in a... And the third one, he's like in this business suit.
The character Dracula is supposed to be like 500 years old in the 1890s, but this is the whole point, he modernizes himself. So if you've seen Bram Stoker's Dracula the movie with Gary Oldman, he goes from being this very old guy to a young guy with the long hair. And that's him blending in with society because he can make himself look any way. So in this adaptation, he starts off in Transylvania, but then he becomes like a London gent, a man about town, and he wears nice suits.
Without mentioning he's Dracula.
Yeah,
And
well,
he makes blood out of young women's bodies for a living.
for a living, yeah.
For 100 years.
Yeah, he's definitely got his way. Yeah, he gets what he wants. The name Dracula is so well known that when you do an adaptation of Dracula, it's hard to believe that anyone in the program's never heard the name Dracula. I never had that confirmed. It's like they've heard of vampires before. There's a bit in maybe the second episode where he's talking to a lady and he says, questions? And she's like, do you have a reflection? So people have heard of vampires, but they obviously haven't heard of Count Dracula in this program.
I'm like odd, and also I'm like, come on. Let's get guns ready.
The idea of the program is people don't know who he is. They've never heard of Dracula, so he's not as scary as he would be to you and me.
Oh well, that's their mistake. They got Britain's neck there.
Yeah, they had it coming. I think it's really funny as well. I think it's gory. It's a romantic horror, gothic horror, but it's quite funny as well. It's very cheeky.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And every other storyline going in between the 3 episodes were not really interesting.
I suppose it's about him. It's about the man himself.
Definitely when like this is like having this relationship with this girl.
In the book, he seduces Lucy, who is Mina's friend. Bram Stoker was like a trash journalist. In his time, he was a tabloid journalist. He would have written for like The Sun or the Daily Mail. And he wrote this rather trashy novel called Dracula. At the time, it was like a silly, pulpy, romantic novel. It wasn't meant to be scary. It was meant to be silly. And the whole Dracula seduces women with his powers thing, that was all meant to be quite sexy. You know, so that's what they're playing with. He's not just Frankenstein's monster. It's not just monster. He's meant to be seductive and charming and sexy and all that jazz. So that's where that's come from, the relationship. But he does kill people as well, so don't worry.
But I thought the twist was what the twist on the last one. I thought was interesting.
I haven't seen the end of it myself, so I suppose does he die at the end? Is that a plot spoiler?
Yeah, I think that's probably plot spoiler, yeah.
Okay, we won't say what happens to him, but it is fun to find out. It's worth watching.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought this is great. And I think everyone who are big horror fans probably recommend it to them, to those group of audiences.
And if you're a traditionalist, if you like your gothic horror stories to be something to do with the original, then yeah, this follows the original story quite well.
Yeah, I recommend it, yeah. I'm just going to quick mention video game review of an old favourite of you and I, like Celebrity Deathmatch.
Hey!
PS2.
This is a game of Celebrity Deathmatch, is it?
Yeah, which is a video game based on the TV show, which is turned into a video game.
Fantastic. Great idea. You've posted this, have you, Ryan?
Oh, yeah.
Celebrity Deathmatch, which is music television production from the late 1990s, which, as Ryan says, is also a PS2 2003 game.
Yeah.
That's a really good year for this to have come out. Did you watch Celebrity Deathmatch, Ryan?
Well, not in the early 90s when I was still a young boy.
You weren't aware of it then, but you've seen it now?
But I did look online and they what this is like in my teenage years. When I was like learning how to like able to download things.
Yes.
And my hotel at the time teach me how to download things onto this at the time.
Cool. Celebrity Deathmatch came out in 1999, I think. And I think the first ever episode was Monica Lewinsky against Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and also the only ones I watched are season 8 and 9.
Okay.
Which is got like Paris Hilton versus Nicole Richie.
Fantastic.
Oh, Simon Cowell versus Ryan Seacrest.
That's later than the game, isn't it? Because if you
Yeah,
think
way later. Why not from the show getting cancelled?
Celebrity Deathmatch getting cancelled.
But they brought him back for like early 2010, like a little revival.
Yeah, because I think of it as a very short-lived thing from the late 90s to
but
maybe
very fun as well.
so good. It's stop motion animation. So if you've seen Chicken Run, that kind of plasticine Wallace and Gromit type stuff.
Chicken Run's a classic.
But it's really violent. I forget whether it has any swearing in it, but it is kind of adult content.
Oh yeah, definitely violent. Even one episode has like Stone Cold Steve Austin on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was like the ring announcer for it.
That's right. Because the ring announcer is normally this bold guy, but they get Stone Cold in to do it. So that's probably the only place I've seen Stone Cold Steve Austin is Celebrity Deathmatch.
So in this one, they don't have every celebrity from the show, but they got a pretty short amount of them. Like, they got every character from NSYNC, the boy band, Dennis Rodman, Jerry Springer, Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah.
Which I think at that time still alive.
Yeah.
And Carmen Electra.
It's funny because I don't recall, I think I've seen Marilyn Manson one, but I don't recall that many of these. I think of ones like Sylvester Stallone versus Arnold Schwarzenegger and...
God, yeah, when they run like back and forth with like montage of their favourite films, like
all their best action movies, and obviously Arnie is the Terminator.
Yeah.
There was a great one of Men in Black versus another duo. I can't remember.
I see what you mean there, but
Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones versus someone else.
I see those clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just type in Celebrity Deathmatch and you'll probably see a couple of matches on there.
Well done, Ryan. Yeah, if you want to. They're only about 5 or 10 minutes long, probably 10 minutes long. They're quite short, and they're like filler between music videos. So they're something that MTV commissioned just to fill in gaps. But they're really funny. They're very, very well made.
So, yeah, I think this show is like a love letter for the show.
Yeah. Will this have been made by MTV themselves, do you think? Gotham Games.
It's got MTV on the top of the cover.
Yeah, but Gotham Games produced this. I'm just wondering, like, because we were talking about South Park makers releasing games, but whether MTV released this or they just let someone else make it.
Well, they'll probably, South Park is like definitely been licensed by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Yeah.
I never know who made Celebrity Deathmatch. I know it was made for MTV. Have you ever heard of Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they started life on MTV as well. They were these very short cartoons by Mark Judge.
I don't really remember it too much.
No. I'm just saying that then spawned into this whole thing where they had movies and TV shows, but that began as a very small thing on MTV, same as So this is on PlayStation, Xbox, PS2, PS1, it looks like, and 2003. So I'm guessing, Ryan, that the game doesn't play brilliantly now, 18 years later.
But this is like, I will say the controls still like played naturally, but I'll say the humour is really spot on from the show.
Excellent.
And definitely with the commentators.
So they've got Nick and Johnny commentating, have they?
Nick, Johnny, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, and they go away with a lot of like unique finishes. You can like, I think make a character like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
After like the meter go down and you just like beat your enemy, you chuck him in like not the flamethrower but the tree killer.
Oh yeah, like the chipper.
And it will go before referee Milgrain say, "You are the winner."
Hey, yeah. Let's get it on.
Yeah. I always like that.
Yeah. So Ryan's just mentioned this, but he says in his prose, this is Ryan's review, The game has a lot of sarcastic humour. The roster for the game got a unique collection of celebrities. The game's also got an episode mode, which is like playing a version of the show. I like the high amount of weapons to use to damage your opponent. This game is self-aware of what it is. The cons, the death matches can get competitive and boring. The writing doesn't make sense, and the creative fighter are very limited in options. There are 27 total celebrities, 20 from the start, and 7 unlockable. Regular versions of Nick and Johnny are not playable. There are also 4 created fighters, male and female, each with 2 sets of fighting styles. So when we do game reviews, Ryan, you often lament the lack of players to play. So 27, is that a good number or not enough?
Well, not really, but I feel like during other time the WWE, I think, struggled with that a little bit. If you know all the wrestlers from television and that, from the WWE television show from that time period.
Yeah.
But I think in this show, in my opinion, it worked out for this game in its own favour. And yeah, I feel like some more people should be added, but overall, I'm not really that upset of the people that go in the game.
Yeah, if you've got Dennis Rodman, what more do you need?
Lee.
I'm not sure who that is. This is me feeling really out of touch, Ryan. I don't recognise a lot of these names, to be honest.
Oh, or they got made up ones like Mummy, as in the Mummy.
Oh, okay. I see Frankenstein's monster is in here as well. Yeah.
Wolfman, Wizard Johnny.
It's a snapshot of celebrity at the time. So you've got Justin Timberlake, and then, as you say, you've got all of NSYNC. So they would have been worth making fun of at the time. Yeah. It's possible that some celebrities chose not to be on there. I can't imagine Sylvester Stallone cares whether he's on Celebrity Deathmatch or not, but maybe there was an issue with legality getting some of the more famous people. This feels like a perfect game for now because you could be downloading characters all the time. But obviously 2003, they had to limit the number of characters because the game wouldn't be able to handle it.
Oh yeah, but I feel like a lot of gamers today, well, younger ones, the sample, probably haven't heard of Celebrity Deathmatch game ever.
That's a real shame. It should so come back because it was brilliant when it began. Yeah. Like I say, it began with Monica Lewinsky against Hillary Clinton. And that obviously, I think Bill Clinton was being impeached as the program came out. So it's very political. Just like South Park, it was commenting on what's happening now.
Definitely.
So now they could do Donald Trump against everyone,
or The Rock against Donald Trump.
That'd be great. That would be so fun.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, I mean, yes. In fact, Statham would be a fantastic actor to be in this because he's got the voice, Jason Statham, and he has been in lots of silly movies.
Hobbs Shaw.
I mean, I wish I could remember the name of it. The one where he basically gets poisoned and he has to stay moving or else he'll die. And
no. To be honest with you, the only names were stable in my mind. It's called the Fast and Furious films.
But that's perfect. That's exactly what Celebrity Deathmatch is made for, is those kind of movies. Make fun of them. So you could have The Rock doing his wrestling stuff, but then you could have all the Expendables turn up. They could all come down from the ceiling and just kill everyone. Yeah. Machine guns. Arnie chewing on a big cigar.
That would be like a 7-on-1 situation.
Maybe. And it's a lot of animating to do because obviously these are stop motion animations. They're done, moving the plasticine. So there's a lot of work that goes into it.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. But they are so good. Please, anyone that's never heard of it, check it out on YouTube. It's really funny.
Well, yeah, some of the, I think it's not like episodes. I think it's like clips of old ones. But I guess
you might be able to find full episodes. They're only about 10 minutes long, but you can easily see clips. You've had this game since 2003, or you got it more recent?
Well, no, I actually went in off an old choice game shop.
Excellent.
Not near between when I was living in it. Now I think it's now our business now.
All right. So you have a copy of it forever?
Well, no. I sold it away to other people, really.
Okay. I'm always interested in how you choose your subject. It's interesting that we go from now back to 2003 and then up and down.
Instead of 2003, now that's a perfect segue of the next one talk about, which is from 2004 all the way to 2011, which is the longest waited Entourage.
2004 till 2011, season 1 to 8.
Which is the main reason for my picture frame.
Fantastic. So if I can get this picked up, there are these for all the series, which are these very confident-looking youngsters, all looking very casual. And Ryan has done an illustration or a drawing that is tying in Entourage with Dracula, the program that we spoke about, which is some of
the things we were going to talk about.
Yeah. So basically, the subjects that we're covering today, Ryan's done a framed piece of artwork for, which is fantastic. Yeah. Taking your role very seriously, Ryan, commentator and artist.
Yeah, and this will probably get changed around like every week.
Well, don't wear yourself out, but if you want to do a piece of artwork for each subject, then that makes it very much more enjoyable. I've never heard of this before, Ryan, so I'm going to read your info as quick as I can.
Job it.
Has blog about the entire series, 2004 to 2011. This is a comedy drama created by Dong Ellen, starring Kevin Connolly, Adrian Grenier, Kevin Dillon, Jerry Ferrara, Jeremy Piven, Debbie Mazza, Harry Reeves, Rex Lee, Reese Coiro, Gary Cole, Emmanuel Chiriki, and Scott Kahn. The plot: the series was created and largely written by Doug Ellen and chronicles the acting career of Vincent Chase, a young A-list movie star, and his childhood friends from Queens, New York City, as they attempt to further their nascent career in Los Angeles. You ended up enjoying the show. Pros, Ryan says you can believe the main characters do know each other as friends. Jeremy Piven was incredible as Ari Gold and made me laugh when he loses it in a hilarious way. The filming in LA was well shot and I enjoyed seeing the sights. It was well directed. This show had a lot of celebrities making cameo appearances, guest spots or playing a role in each of the seasons. And the show explained how challenging, outrageous the struggle that Hollywood can be. The cons, Ryan says at times it gets exhausting to watch each episode for each season without getting bored, and the ending didn't feel like a finale to the show because the story was left open. Ryan says, I highly recommend watching this show and all episodes on DVD, Blu-ray, IQ box. So did you watch it all in one, Ryan? You mentioned to me you were going to watch it. And now you've watched all 8 series.
Correct. You're 100% correct.
And so that might account for why it got a bit boring. If you're watching nothing else but Entourage, that could be a bit draining.
Well, yeah, that's the thing I'm onto right now. I got a lot of stuff on my Sky Q box. Start really watching some of these just to save space before I have trouble with my cable bill.
Okay.
Actually, my family's cable bills.
Well said. I mean, I feel for you, Ryan, that you feel pressure to watch it all quick to get it out the way because maybe you're not enjoying it as much if you're like, I could spend 10 hours watching this. I don't know how you've done it. But...
That's all right. That's why I always remember myself. Also remember why you're watching this.
Yeah. I suppose you're watching it to review it, but you're watching it to enjoy it. Hopefully it's fun. And if it's not fun, then don't punish yourself.
Definitely.
So you sound like you've enjoyed this a lot.
Oh,
it was very well. And it gave you an insight into LA with all the, I'm going to be a star, and everyone just turning up there and hoping for the best.
Yeah. And this is like way before social media was a thing. With all 4 friends, you can believe like these guys have been friends for years. Each main character's separately.
Yep.
Vincent Chase, which is actually one of the main stars on the show, which is played by Andy Edwards. I probably got that name incorrectly there.
Adrian Grenier. It's not an easy name.
Adrian Grenier, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, yeah. I thought it was like, he does well. He was really good, like playing like this young Hollywood, like young cocky heartthrob. Zac Efron type. Not really like Zac Efron.
Okay, so
including-
that's kind of who he's going for. It's a Zac Efron.
yeah. Well, similar like that, yes.
Okay.
And like you got drama, as in like played by God, Kevin Donnan, which his nickname is Johnny. With drama in this, which is Vincent Chase's older brother, meant to be like this former teen idol,
Yeah.
like a famous teen drama for years. But now he's not. Like bring back his throne in a way, as in like, hey, I'm worried about my younger brother's career for a long time, but I gotta think about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a rivalry between them.
Well, not like a rivalry. It's basically like one person's outwork and can't afford a job, then
Yeah.
cancel town, and the other one is laughing the hell out of his success. It's like a jealousy. Basically, they like support each other.
That's good. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're both out there and they're doing different jobs. This has reminded me, Ryan, and it's interesting to talk about him now because he's really famous again. I read an article about Mark Ruffalo years ago, and he was like a bit character. He would be in a few films, but he apparently went something like 9 years without any acting work, and he was a barman for a long time in LA.
Oh,
And he was saying in the interview, like, people think I'm famous, but I'm not. I'm really struggling to make money. And then obviously he went into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Spotlight, which won the Oscar. But for a long time, he wasn't getting any work and he had to just do ordinary jobs. So just
Yeah.
because you've been in a few films doesn't mean that you've made it. You know, you really have to work hard.
yeah. And I think that's why Hollywood is getting so out-touched these days. You got Eric, which is like Vincent Chase's like agent, which does like help Vincent try to like get the calls with record executives, film set agents, managers, basically telling them, you need to work with this guy. Got money. When the season show went on, he does like become his own boss, talent agency, which is represent himself.
Right, so he finds success. I'm interested, Ryan, if it's 8 series is long, does it basically focus on him? Is it all about Vincent Chase?
Well, yeah, for like the first few seasons, which it still is, but also like it just focused on these 4 friends trying to reach a success in Los Angeles.
So they're all trying to be famous, and that the entourage is them as a group trying to do their own thing.
Yeah, but also like all 4 of them are there for each other, I think.
Yeah. Is it a bit like Friends? Is it like a sitcom almost?
Well,
Or
yeah, yes, they are. Instead of like living in like a big sick house, all they're laughing their heads off.
yeah.
Instead, they do live in a famous Los Angeles apartment. Also, basically, like they show their live view of Los Angeles and the Hollywood machine about some people are complete bullshit. Yeah.
Tin
And
Town, man. It's all fake.
the last,
Yeah, go on.
the last character, which is Turtle, played by Jimmy Palmer. Yeah, with Turtle, with just Turtle. That's when they just call him Turtle.
Okay.
Everyone in the show call him Turtle.
I'm sure they have their reasons.
Which is basically being like the annoying like pun for like earlier seasons. And when the season started to progress, his character comes a little bit more into his own during the last couple seasons.
So we're reviewing the whole thing. We're talking about this program over like a 7-year period.
Yeah.
Does the whole thing tie together quite nicely, or does it lose its
Oh, yeah.
way?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And one more class, and we move on, which is the main, in my opinion, the famous star of the show. Harvey Gold, the talent agency, played by Jeremy Renner, which is
Right.
absolutely great, man.
Who loves you?
Yeah, either he's just like throwing fits from like not getting what he wanted, or just like not getting the right like deals with his boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like just throwing the phone away for no reason. Because he gets furious at his job.
There's a way of describing actors sometimes, Ryan, as chewing the scenery. Think of Al Pacino. Whenever an actor's like crazy and all bombastic, that's chewing the scenery. So it sounds
So
like
I
that's
mean,
what...
like throwing fit like just full of explosion.
Yeah. So a lot of creative work is that way, and a lot of stuff doesn't happen in LA. You know,
Yeah.
people have ideas, but they need the producers to say yes and give them the money. So many ideas are happening, but hardly any of them get off the ground. So yeah, it's a good subject.
Yeah, and also when he's like things never goes well with his boys, definitely with season 4, 5, he like goes off one. Right, where's my check? Where's my car? I want to go up and talk to these idiots. And put them, basically like put them in shape. Working these boys into shape. I'm not having it. These boys are the right ones.
Did it feel, Ryan, like it just stopped, or did it conclude? Did it come to a good, satisfying end?
The ending of the entire show overall doesn't feel like an actual ending to the show. It felt like, to me, like a continuation.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to stop something when it's really good. Like starting it is one thing, but finding a way to end it is often quite tough. But so you'd watch more if they did more of it, maybe?
Oh yeah, which it did carry on in the actual film adaptation of the same show, but with a bigger budget, wide HD side to it. But everything you come to love from the show, it's all in there. Celebrity cameos, which I'll get set cameos. Probably a big use of big screen return of Haley Joel Osment,
All right.
debut of not Margot Robbins, good God. Wanda Rousey, probably punching Turtle in an MMA fight. And probably, basically that film was a love letter to the show.
That's wonderful. I get the impression, Ryan, that maybe when the show first started, it wasn't that popular, but as it got more popular, more celebrities wanted to do cameos in it. Do you think?
Yes, well, basically, glad you mentioned celebrities, because this show is pretty much known for having tons of celebrity cameos or guest stars.
Yeah.
Some of them are just guest stars for like play a real key role in the series, or some of the series, or just play like small particular role within the show, or guest stars they just show in a few episodes, or just basically cameos which they're just there for.
Yeah, so they're just themselves.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you say, you see Hugh Hefner on there, like, oh, it's you in there. Hi there.
Right, okay.
Or next to these Playboy bunnies.
Yeah.
Or like there's Gary Busey on there.
Excellent.
Yeah, Gary Busey. You got Stilton Skarsgård on there. You have directors. Which lost his mind.
Okay.
And I think they had cameos like Scarlett Johansson once. Seth Green playing a douchey version of himself. Probably just angry with Eric for some reason. Over a movie role which almost ended up in a fight.
I've not seen it, but this reminds me a bit of Extras, which was Ricky Gervais' vehicle. Have you ever seen Extras before?
No, but I have heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's basically someone who's trying to get into acting, and the program is populated with all these celebrities. Like he had Patrick Stewart and David Bowie. Do you suppose this probably came out before that because it's 2004?
Yeah.
Maybe he stole the idea. But are they playing bit parts like Vincent Chase? He's not like a well-established actor, so is he playing like little roles in movies or
Oh
programs?
yeah, little roles a little bit. Like
Yeah,
that, I think they play like little indie roles. Like
yeah.
honestly, I can't remember like what film they called. But the only one that sticks out to me from the show was him cast as Aquaman.
Hmm. Which
Yes,
is obviously before the
yes,
DC.
another one, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait
yeah.
for that. And
Cool.
that's go on, yeah, Aquaman directed by James Cameron. Which he did like actual guest star on the show.
Yeah.
Like the actual James Cameron.
Well, he lives there. I mean, if
Well,
you're in Los Angeles, he's only
yeah,
down
well,
the street.
yeah, we say, yeah, well done, Bison, you're the greatest actor. We will cast you in this role. We
Gotcha.
feel like you're the right person for this job. Everything in Boulder show is like everything goes all right to Vincent Chase.
Okay.
Including, except for a lot of the time he goes downhill into drug addiction.
Right. I suppose 8 series is they can cover a lot of material, but it's always about his journey, what's happening to him.
Yeah, and it's like a reflection of Hollywood, really.
I'm really pleased that because it's been heard of. I've heard of Entourage, but I never saw it. But it's really nice that you're able to pick up with this
Yeah,
in the 10 years after it finished. Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's definitely recommended, yeah.
Okay, so we can see this on Sky Q Box,
Yeah,
DVD, or Blu-ray.
yeah, if you can, like, have the last couple of them, or if they still have them in the shops where you are,
Yeah,
which is on DVD Blu-ray, or you could catch every single one of them up on your Sky Q box.
and with the Sky Q, you can stream it basically, can you? Like
Yeah,
you would with
yeah,
Netflix or
like,
Amazon.
well, yeah, in every episode, but you had to wait for a little while to like every single episode to load up.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the actual main film of it, sadly you had to pay for.
Oh, it is a shame. Yeah, I think they do these things for money. I think they require you to pay for them, so that's,
Yeah,
a little annoying, but
yeah. Or you could find other ways to actually get the show itself.
yeah.
Whether
It's
it's,
a friend might have it on DVD because it's very popular. Like I say, it sort of began when Friends finished, and I know that it's it's a clique of friends who try and help each other out. So it's got that same kind of friendly atmosphere.
yeah.
Oh, wonderful, Ryan. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it because you said that you were going to set out to watch this, and if it had been rubbish from the beginning, I hope that you wouldn't have felt obliged to
Well,
watch
my
it.
mum think it was pretty rubbish.
Fair enough.
I was just going to quickly say my last thing on here, which is I got back into Power Rangers.
Okay. This is Power Rangers Mystic Force, is it?
Yeah, which is basically Harry Potter with Power Rangers.
That's a really interesting summary, Ryan. I love that you can take those two concepts and just mash them together. So Ryan would like to discuss in future, for those that have or haven't heard of it, Power Rangers Mystic Force. This is on the agenda for discussing the next time we do an interview. And can I just ask quickly, Ryan, is this a modern Power Rangers thing or is it quite old?
Well, yeah, this is like 2006.
Okay, we'll call that old now. Yeah.
Still
So
in
it's
the
not modern.
middle of the Disney era Power Rangers.
Okay, so when Disney is running the show. Great. So more on that in our next interview. that's all the time we've got for now, though, I'm afraid. So thank you very much, Ryan, for picking up with us again and
Yeah.
telling us all about Entourage, Celebrity Deathmatch, and Dracula.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Thank
Yeah.
you. And tune in again, everyone, for our next interview, which will be next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.